Hi, I'm Lori. Thank you for joining me as we journey to Marysville and points beyond. We're beginning this journey where we left off last week, as the day was actually a busy day and not planned out well enough. So we left Tower Watt Rock and then we drove down Recreation Road, if you caught those videos last week. Now we have arrived in Marysville, which used to be a booming little town, as the sign says. But today what is left is a ghost town, a mere shadow of what it was in the past. It is mid-afternoon by the time I get to Marysville. It looks like it could rain, and the roads here kind of look pretty bad. It looks like it has been raining. I wasn't expecting dirt roads in town. However, it was paved getting here. Go figure. Marysville, Montana is one of the many ghost towns in Montana that were left behind from a mining era, and when mining was rich and then things turned out not to be so profitable or various different things. What we see here is some remnants of Marysville and what was preserved with the aid of the Historical Society in Montana. I planned a lot for today, so this was quick. I had with the weather and everything else, I did not stay here long, so in hindsight, I wished that I would have hadn't stopped at the museum, but I'm pretty sure it was closed that day. Being a ghost town, you didn't see any cars or anything, and I don't know. I felt like I should probably go ahead and try to find a campsite. Being new to Montana, this is the first time I disperse camped alone, and I just not sure, and I'm still trying to discover and learn the areas because everything's so new to me here, and I'd like to be able to chill out for a while. So come on and let's go find a campsite. I just love the play of the light, the trees reflecting on the lake, and how the light and shadow plays, and how it's blurred. And then I think about it from the perspective of an artist or a painter and how they would recreate this scene. Anyway, it's interesting, and I've been enjoying a lot of the scenery in Montana, and with how good the phones are, it's just amazing. And it makes me think about also painting the scenes, which is something I'd like to learn to do one day. Anyhow, like I said, I can tend to get philosophical, and these are things that intrigue me, and I just thought I would mention it. So I had a lot of trouble finding a good campsite, and it seemed like everything I could find was developed, which actually seems to be a thing in Montana. But I didn't know that at the time anyway. So here's my takeaway. I need to stop at some of the ranger stations, and there is dispersed camping, so not all of it's at campsites. But anyway, there's a lot to learn. It's set up a little differently than what I'm used to. So each state seems a little different, but most of them were just easier for me than here. And so I recommend stopping at a ranger station, and that's my plan for next time. And then there's some maps I plan to get. I drove a lot of miles in Montana, and I was thinking I would just be able to get into the National Forest and find that camping site easy, and it sure wasn't easy to do, not as easy as it was in other places. There's a lot to learn, and you should research areas you're going into, perhaps plan a little better than I did. Anyway, if you have any advice for me for finding great dispersed camp spots, or want to tell me where some great ones are, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. I wasted a lot of time both nights in this video of looking for camping spots, driving down roads for 20 miles, and not actually getting into the national forest and so forth. Like I said, I have found it easier elsewhere for some reason. I just wasn't doing this right. Anyway, the next morning I left this spot, and it was a nice spot. It was just a little too close to the road, and I decided to go to the Sapphire Mine. That was a disappointment, but that wasn't the mine's fault. It was a lovely demonstration on how to find gems, but the cloudy skies did not help. And when the wind blew away the 3 rubies I had found, I figured I needed to stop. They weren't big. They were just little chops. It wasn't like I lost anything major, but it was just not productive. So I packed up my stuff, and I still have the rocks I need to go through and see if I got anything I need to screen to sift them through. And I decided to go for a little further south to the Missouri Headwaters State Park because it looked like the weather would be slightly better there. So I headed down that way, and that's not in this video. That does have its own video, which you can check out next week if you just hit your little alert bell down below. So anyhow, after I went to the Missouri Headwaters State Park, the rest of the video is my second night trying to find a campsite. I should have paid and stayed at the Missouri Headwaters State Park. I did a lot of driving. I drove over 20 miles down a lot of dirt roads, some of them really muddy or barely there, and was having no luck. I ended up in a developed place and way at the end, and it just really wasn't the best campsite. I still had a great time, and tomorrow night I'll be at my cousin's. So anyway, I will catch you for the Missouri Headwaters State Park next week, and then the week after we'll get to Karis. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a good week. Peace. Don't forget to hit that alert bell if you'd like to know when my next video is out.